In the lively town of Umofia, lived a young woman named Nkoli. Known in the town for her striking beauty, Nkoli's captivating eyes and radiant smile could light up any room. However, just as prominent as her beauty was her reputation for living a reckless life, always in the company of the village's most irresponsible men. Nkoli's parents, Adana and Obina, were well respected in the community. Adana was known for her wisdom and gentle nature, while Obina was recognized for his integrity and good relationship with people in the community. They had raised Nkoli with love and care, instilling in her the values of hard work and respect. Yet, as Nkoli grew into a young woman, she seemed determined to chart her own path, one that often led her into trouble. "Nkoli, my child," Adana would say, her voice tinged with concern, "you must be careful with the company you keep. Not all that glitters is gold." Nkoli would laugh, a carefree sound that masked her defiance. "Mama, you worry too much. I'm just having fun. Life is meant to be lived, isn't it?" Obina, with his deep, resonant voice, would add, "One day, your choices will bring you trouble. Listen to your mother. Your future depends on it." But Nkoli, spirited and headstrong, continued her ways. She spent her nights at lively parties at the most popular bars in town, where music and dance flowed freely, and her days were often spent recovering from the previous night's revelries. She reveled in the attention of men like Emeka, her latest boyfriend, known for his wild parties and carefree lifestyle. One bright and sunny day, the town was abuzz with excitement. It was the wedding day of Nkoli's best friend, Amora. The ceremony was a grand affair, filled with the vibrant colors of traditional attire, the rhythmic sounds of drums, and the tantalizing aromas of a feast being prepared. Nkoli, dressed in a stunning gold and white dress, looking extremely beautiful, she was the center of attention as she mingled with the guests. As Nkoli laughed and danced with her friends, she felt a pair of eyes watching her. Turning, she locked gazes with a man she had never seen before. He was tall, with a strong, athletic build and an aura of confidence that was hard to ignore. His eyes held a mixture of curiosity and admiration. "Who is that?" Chidi asked his friend Kelechi, nodding towards Nkoli. Kelechi glanced over and smiled. "Oh, that is Nkoli. She's quite the beauty, isn't she? But be careful, my friend. She has a reputation for being adventurous." Chidi, however, was not deterred. He was drawn to Nkoli, not just by her beauty but by the spark he saw in her eyes. He made his way through the crowd, determined to introduce himself. "Hello, I'm Chidi," he said, offering his hand and a warm smile. Nkoli returned his smile, her heart skipping a beat. "Nkoli. Nice to meet you, Chidi." As they talked, Nkoli found herself captivated by Chidi's kindness and integrity. Unlike the men she usually attracted, Chidi seemed genuine and grounded. For the first time, she saw in a man the qualities that went beyond the superficial charm she was used to. Nkoli and Chidi's initial meeting at the wedding soon blossomed into a deepening relationship. They began to spend more time together, enjoying outings as Chidi took her to beautiful places and introduced her to his friends. Nkoli, determined to win Chidi over, decided to present herself as a decent and responsible woman. She hid her bad habits, like drinking and smoking, and avoided her usual haunts. Chidi was smitten. He admired Nkoli's beauty, but what truly captivated him was her apparent sincerity and warmth. He decided it was time to introduce her to his parents, a big step in their budding relationship. "Nidi, this is Nkoli," Chidi introduced her to his mother one sunny afternoon. Nidi was a wise woman with a discerning eye, and her son's happiness meant the world to her. Chidi's father passed away years ago, and his mother was bent on making sure that he got married to a good, well-brought-up woman. A woman who would support him and build a life with him. Nidi smiled warmly but observed Nkoli closely. "Welcome, my dear. I hope you will make Chidi happy." Nkoli, with her most charming smile, replied, "I will do my best, Mama." Despite Nkoli's outward charm, Nidi wasn't fully convinced. She had seen many women try to win over her son, and something about Nkoli's polished demeanor felt forced. She decided to keep a watchful eye on her future daughter-in-law. The day before their traditional wedding ceremony, Nkoli was busy with final preparations. The village was buzzing with anticipation, and Nkoli's parents were filled with pride and joy. However, as she was going over the guest list, her phone rang. It was Emeka, her most recent ex-boyfriend, known for his wild ways. "Nkoli, one last time for old time's sake," Emeka coaxed over the phone. "Meet me at our usual spot. Just for fun." Nkoli hesitated. She knew she shouldn't, but the idea of one last thrill was too tempting. She decided to sneak off, planning to return before anyone noticed. Little did she know, Emeka had darker plans. When Nkoli arrived at their favorite meeting spot, a bar where they used to hang out together, Emeka was unusually cheerful. They drank and laughed, talking about old times. Then they went to Emeka's house after he insisted that he still had some of Nkoli's things she needed to pick up. However, as the night wore on, Emeka's demeanor changed. He became possessive and controlling, refusing to let Nkoli leave. "Emeka, I need to go. I have to be home," Nkoli pleaded. Emeka smirked, his eyes cold. "You're not going anywhere. Not until I've had my fun." Nkoli's heart raced with fear. She realized too late that she had walked into a trap. Emeka held her hostage. He showed her a video he had made secretly of them drinking and behaving recklessly at the bar earlier that day, a video he intended to send to Chidi. His intention was to expose Nkoli for who she truly was. The next morning, as the village buzzed with anticipation for the wedding, Nkoli was nowhere to be found. Chidi and his family arrived at her home, confusion and concern etched on their faces. "Where is Nkoli?" Chidi asked, panic rising in his voice. Her parents, equally baffled, could only shake their heads. "We don't know. She was here last night," Obinna said, worry deep in his eyes. Hours passed, and whispers spread through the village. Nidi felt her suspicions growing into certainty. She had always sensed something was off about Nkoli, and now her worst fears seemed to be coming true. Chidi made a call to a friend who, a police commissioner, and they promised to find Nkoli. Everyone waited anxiously, hoping that Nkoli would return safe and sound. As the sun began to set, Nkoli was finally released by Emeka, who smugly sent the incriminating video to Chidi. Exhausted and humiliated, Nkoli hurried home, only to find her fiancé and his family were long gone. Nkoli rushed to Chidi's house. She knelt down before Chidi and his mother begging for their forgiveness. Chidi's eyes were cold as he watched the video Emeka had sent. His heart ached with betrayal. "Nkoli, how could you?" he demanded, his voice thick with emotion. Tears streamed down Nkoli's face. "Chidi, please, I can explain. It was a mistake. I didn't mean for this to happen." Nidi leaned forward, her face a mask of disappointment. "Nkoli, I always had my doubts about you. But I saw how much my son loved you and I gave you a chance. Nkoli, we gave you a chance to prove yourself and this is what you do. I am just happy that God delivered my son. Nkoli fell to her knees, begging and pleading, but it was too late. I'm sorry Nkoli, Chidi said, but I cannot get married to someone I can't trust. I feel like I never knew the real you. The wedding is off. Chidi and his mother got up and left, their hearts heavy with disappointment. Nkoli was left alone, her dreams shattered. She returned home to her parents. Though heartbroken, her parents stood by her, hoping she had finally learned her lesson. My child, Adana said gently, sometimes it takes losing everything to realize what truly matters. Nkoli nodded, tears still falling. I understand now, Mama. I've been foolish and reckless. I promise to change. From that day forward, Nkoli dedicated herself to becoming a better person. She sought forgiveness from those she had wronged and worked to rebuild her life with integrity and honesty. She distanced herself from negative influences and focused on improving herself and helping others in the community.